Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. It looks like we're right here at the top of the hour, wherever you happen to be across the country, and we'd like to thank you for joining us today as we do our walkthrough of the new and improved disability community of practice and DEI resources on WorkforceGPS. There's been a lot of changes that have been made, and I am joined today for the walkthrough by my colleague, Laura Glenick, who's the project manager for our DEI technical assistance team. My name is Miranda Kennedy, and we're happy that you're all here joining us. Let's go ahead and talk about our learning objectives for today. So our hope is that all of you, our DEI grantees and partners, that you will come away with the following from our time here together over the next hour. We're going to be providing you with an introduction to WorkforceGPS and how it can work for you, as well as information on how to connect the pieces of the disability and employment community of practice and other communities. We're also going to be having Laura is going to do a walkthrough and an overview of the DEI collection site and DEI resources. They have been changed up in terms of there's going to be more flow. I think you'll find it a little more intuitive, and Laura's going to show us how that's done. And as part of that, just this exposure and this walkthrough of the resources that exist on there, we're hoping you'll come away with tips and strategies from those resources that will help you with your project implementation and with experiencing some success around additional success around the system capacity building component of the DEI that you're all working on. So with that, we actually want to make this a little bit engaging right out of the door. So we've got a quick poll, and I'm going to open it up. The first poll question, if you can see it here, the question is, have you been on WorkforceGPS before? Your options are yes, no, and I don't know or remember. So if you could take just a moment, we'd like to get a sense for where people are at, if this is something that will be brand new to you, maybe you've been there before, maybe you know it quite well. Even if you know it quite well, it's been some pretty intensive effort from the national office and our team to really focus on this and improve it. So we hope you'll still be interested. Let's see. We have a lot of folks that have finished. This is great. It's looking like the yeses have it. The majority of folks, yes, they have been on. We have some no's, and we actually do have a few people who aren't sure, so that's helpful to know. I'm going to go ahead and close that poll down, and we're going to ask you one more question as well. And let me bring that up here in a second. Are you a member of WorkforceGPS? This will be your next question. Yes? No? Oh, sorry, doing polls is a little tricky sometimes. Yes? No? Yeah, and you should hopefully know the answer to this, whether you are a member or not, and hopefully by the end of today, if you're not, you will be. Well, I'm going to go ahead and open this poll up. We would like to see, out of the folks who said yes, they've been on WorkforceGPS, have you just gone on and checked it out, or have you signed up? Are you registered? So if you could take a moment and let Laura and I know where you're at with that. It did look like we had a couple of call-in users. We'll try to be very descriptive. If you're a call-in user who's not connected to our web platform for the walkthrough, we'll try to be very clear with our descriptions, but we are going to be doing a walkthrough of the website. So if there's an opportunity to also hop on the webinar platform, you might want to do so. All right. Oh, Laura, this is great. We do have a number of folks. So we had 17 folks who said they had been on it before, and actually 19 of our folks are saying that they are registered members.
Wow.
And we've got a few folks who are not members. So, and I didn't ask anyone if they didn't know if they were a member or not. So there is that. All right, I'm going to go ahead with that. Now we're going to close up that poll. Thank you, everyone, for letting us know where you're at with that. That helps us in terms of knowing and being able to adjust our presentation moving forward. So, Laura, I'm going to go ahead and hand the ball over to you.
Great. Thank you, Miranda. Miranda, please give me a sound check as I go through if I'm not speaking clearly or loud enough. Welcome, everybody. It's really exciting to get feedback from the two poll questions. One, to know that some of you have been on WorkforceGPS, and also some of you are members. So for those of you who are neither, you've come to the right place. And for those of you who are, you're going to see some new and exciting things that have been changed to help you and enhance your work, and also those of the public workforce system in terms of disability and employment. So I do want to make sure as we start that all of you have a clear vision of what WorkforceGPS is and how it's here to help you. Again, we're really glad that many of you are familiar with it, and we're glad that those of you who are not, who have joined us, because that's really the purpose of today. Since the WorkforceGPS is a central portal for the public workforce system, and really for all of the work of the DEI grantees, the information shared is going to help support and augment what you're doing in the field. And really keep it, the word support is really key here. That's what it's going to help to do, is support you to more effectively implement the DEI in your area. So with the implementation of the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, also known as WIOA, the U.S. Department of Labor, Employment and Training Administration thought it was a good time to update and augment their web portal for the workforce system. It is sponsored by the Department of Labor's Employment and Training Administration. For those, hopefully you know that the Employment and Training Administration, in partnership with the Office of Disability Employment Policy, jointly administer and fund the DEI. It serves as an interactive online communication and learning platform designed to communicate with and build the capacity of the public workforce system. Again, it's kind of the online web portal for workforce. This site includes technical assistance resources, online learning opportunities, and space to connect and collaborate with peers. While we're not going to give you an overview of the site itself, we did include on this website an area where you can learn more about WorkforceGPS. The Meet WorkforceGPS page provides you with the resources available to help you learn more about and navigate the site, including an archived webinar and a really cool short video overview. For new users, I really highly recommend viewing this section. It's comprehensive and really helps lay out the format and structure for the site. And then the help page, you see the link there, also provides video support to commonly asked questions around how to. For example, how to create a WorkforceGPS account, which we're going to go through in real time, how to navigate the WorkforceGPS member directory, how to do a peer-to-peer chat, and this is a new feature recently added, how to register for a WorkforceGPS webinar. And once you get the hang of it, it really is an intuitive site. And these help aids are going to really assist in that process. So now I'm going to turn it back over to Miranda to learn about WorkforceGPS and how it can work for you. Miranda?
Great, thank you, Laura. Yes, we're describing this for you. We're kind of tantalizing you before we take you over to an actual walkthrough of the website, but we want you to be fully prepared, right? So let's talk about how can WorkforceGPS work for you. So really, it's going to have the same look and feel on each page from top to bottom, and that's going to make it easy to navigate within a page and to get to other sections of the website. And just like much of the new technology that's out there these days, WorkforceGPS is going to adjust to whatever device you're using and offer an opportunity to communicate using different social media vehicles to make it very dynamic. Also, once you're a user, or for those of you who are users and logged in, there's a navigation system in the upper right-hand section of every page that provides improved options to do things such as you can like the page, you can share the information, or the web page that you're viewing on social media. You can send it via an email or save it to your profile page. You can do things like increasing text size and other things like that. And WorkforceGPS, it does include community of practices, communities of practice, and collection sites as well. So for those communities of practice, the communities, they offer you the chance to find resources on specific topics, programs, or initiatives like ours, all while engaging with your peers on those things that matter the most to you. And we're going to be highlighting 3 of the communities that are more directly related to our work under DEI. However, there are a total of 15, so I hope you take a chance to familiarize yourself with them. For the collection sites, those collections are curated resources on a specific topic, program, or initiative. This is where ETA, the Employment and Training Administration, has gathered resources on specific topic areas to make it easier for you to find information that helps you with strategies, planning, and implementation on specific topics. So the Disability Employment Initiative is considered a collection site. We're going to show you the site and highlight resources to support your work. That's going to be the tips and strategies you take away, right? The last objective we had. So we also have this member directory, and this is a virtual directory of resources, and Laura and I like to think of it as a virtual library of your Rolodex. Once you become a member, you can explore shared interests within your state, your region, or nationwide. So, for example, you can click on disability and employment to see who else has an interest in this area, and you could connect with them. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Laura. Since not everyone is a member of WorkforceGPS, can we take a little bit of time to walk through the process of how to create an account? And for those of you who are, grab that quick drink of water. You've got just 1 minute.
Well, thank you, Miranda, but hold on, because I want to make sure that you are connected to, that you signed up for different communities and the communities and the collection sites, so hold on.
So, Laura, can I ask, so if they are a member, can they go in and adjust their profile then if they need to?
Absolutely, Miranda. Yes, you can. You can edit it whenever you need it. You can make it public. You can make it private. You can exchange between the two. Yes, you can. And in fact,
okay, well, Matt, stay seated, everyone.
Stay seated. No water yet. So as a grantee, in general you should, but as a grantee, all of you should have an established WorkforceGPS account to ensure that you have full access to sign up and register for learning opportunities. Now, we do, the DEI grantee-related learning opportunities, we do send them directly to you. You are not required to be a WorkforceGPS user. However, they are all posted and archived to WorkforceGPS. All of the WorkforceGPS trainings, though, many of them the WIOA Mondays, which sometimes take place on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, you do need to be a registered user in order to join and to participate. Once you set up your username and account, it sets up a profile page for you. So we're going to walk through this process in real time to show you how to create your own account if you do not already have one, or, as Miranda was saying, in case you need to update it. So let's take a little tour over to WorkforceGPS. I open the main page because I want you to see the main page here. And Miranda, I just want to make sure, let me just click on this. Is it opening up on your?
On my screen it is, yes.
Okay, and so do you see things on the right? Okay. interestingly enough, it's not showing me what I want it to do. So this is what we call troubleshooting. Okay, so we're going to go here. On the main page, you will be able to see different ways that you can register. My page is very slow. Is it opening up for you?
It's thinking about it. This is what happens when we run multiple platforms. We got a webinar, we got a WorkforceGPS.
So let's do this. We're going to try something.
I see the outline of the page. It's just not filling with content.
There it goes. Okay. Just when I stopped sharing, there it went. Okay, let's see what we've got here.
Oh, it's fun with technology. We've all experienced it.
I know. And you know what? We tried this before. We did this. All right. So let's do this. We're going to do a different thing. So bear with me. We're going to get out of this.
Oh, are you going to share your full desktop?
I think I'm going to share my screen. Let's share the screen, and let's see if we can do something better here.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, it's still not. Well, this is not what we planned to do.
Just show up.
Okay. So we're going to come here. This is not exactly what we wanted to do. Join WorkforceGPS. So the whole account's not opening, but hopefully you can see on the right, this is what I wanted you to see. When you come to the home page, you're going to have many options throughout the site that are going to allow you to join. One of them is on the home page to the right. You have the option to click on Join WorkforceGPS. Just keep holding on. Let's just try different options. All right, can you see this? Randy, can you see this one?
Yes, join WorkforceGPS.
Right.
Your account. And it should be easier for folks at home who aren't also operating a web platform.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. Now, so as we're looking at this, you look at the top of the page. Here was a link to join now. From the main page, the home page, you can also do that. But let's stay on this page. This is Join WorkforceGPS. And here are the different fields that you would fill out. So I just want to walk through these to just show you. You're going to enter the requested logistical information on set up your account. You have an asterisk beside the information that needs to be included, first and last name and email address. And you'll create a password. I can say that it can be sometimes challenging, the security that's required with the password on WorkforceGPS, but just bear with it. It is a requirement of the federal government to have this secure password. Make sure that when you create your password that you save it, and also when you enter it at the top where it has username and password, you also have the option to save it. So each time you come into the site, it will automatically show. So you want to add your logistical information here. Then you want to check your affiliations. And so you have government, you have workforce board, you have other, you have American Job Center, so you can do that. You also have the ability to expand your member profile. This information can be included. It will also be in the member directory. So if you want people to be able to access you, you can give them your phone number. You also can be more specific about your organization and job title. You also can, as I said, you can make your WorkforceGPS public or private, and if you scroll down, you can see how you can do this. So some of the reasons you might want to keep it public is, as Miranda was talking at the beginning, you want people who have similar interests who are in your area to be able to find you, and likewise, you want to be able to find other people. And so you would click here. But before we would do that, I want you to go to the right-hand column, which is options that you can select to kind of make your directory, make your member directory useful to you. So first, you definitely want to check on the WorkforceGPS monthly newsletter. This newsletter comes out, again, monthly, and it gives you updates of what's happening within the various communities and the collections on the site. You also want to choose your community memberships. Please be certain that you choose the Disability and Employment Community of Practice, and obviously the Disability Employment Initiative. This will allow you to get weekly alerts to know what's new and upcoming, what's recently been posted to the site, and then you'll want to scroll through and see the various other affiliations that will be of benefit to you. For example, on my membership, I've included apprenticeship, business engagement, certainly career pathways, that is a focus of our grants, customer-centered design. For youth projects, you could be interested in the various youth communities and collections that are available, and so you can click on those. And then the bottom line is really what we're hoping to do here, ensure that you are kept in the loop so that you receive the latest developments directed to the workforce system, especially as it relates to the disability and employment. So this is, again, the portal for the public workforce system, and we want to hope that you will share this with your partners, especially those who are working with you around disability and employment, so that they keep updated too. But they should also be part of this portal as well. So Miranda, I am going to turn it back over to you to provide an intro to the Disability and Employment COP. And then...
All right. Oh, go ahead, Laura.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Yes, we have more to share. We're just getting started. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take us to the next slide because we covered that one. So let's talk about the Disability and Employment Community of Practice. So what this is, it's an online learning one-stop destination for the American Job Center Network for people with disabilities and for employers. So in addition to that, it's a resource for all key stakeholders who partner with the workforce system to provide services and programs to people with disabilities and or others who experience barriers to employment. So the site itself was developed and is maintained by the NDI DEI Technical Assistance Team, very much in coordination with the National DEI Program Office, and it provides disability and employment information to help the public workforce system address broader systemic issues related to access. All kinds of access, physical, programmatic, and communication access. So it is the area of the Workforce GPS where we include resources related to workplace strategies. Now I'm going to turn it back over to Laura to highlight some of the key resources. So Laura, I'm handing you the ball again.
All right, and my technology is in place. All right, let's see what happens now. Okay, we're going to go.
I'm like on the edge of my seat. This is exciting.
All right, so I wanted to come back to the main page because I want to show you that, as Miranda was saying at the beginning, there's consistent navigation across all of the pages. I just want to show you the navigation bar that I'm highlighting now on the top, and then if you scroll to the very bottom, each page is going to include the same information. I share this because there are many ways to get to all of the communities on the site and all of the collections on the site. So I'm going to scroll back to the top, and we're going to use this method to go right to the Disability and Employment Community of Practice, which you see right in front of you here. So what's important about this site is it's really important to that you make sure that you are logged into the site before you start navigating it, to make sure that you get the full experience. So I am going to go back to the home page. You can see my login up here. I am going to log in, and then I'm going to go back to the Disability and Employment website. So the key features on this website include About, Announcements, Blog and Discussion Topics, and the Menu tabs. And again, this is one of the sites that the NDI, DEI, TA team and the National DEI Program Office have worked on very closely to make this a usable site for the public workforce system. We're really trying to engage in discussions to share and learn more about what is happening in key areas. So we really want to take a moment to look at the current discussion topics and share your feedback so we can get the conversations going. We have discussions. We have a discussion list down here. Let's first start with the About page. On the About page, you can learn more about disability and employment, and it really is a page to help people get in the loop, find information, participate in discussions or community chats, find upcoming and archived events, and really be in the loop. So it's what we talked about at the beginning, but it's really trying to make sure that everybody is engaged on the site. For the announcements, this is really the new and current announcements. You can reach it from the tab. The tab is going to show you the announcements in the descending order, so the most recent one will be first, and you can scroll down. You can also click on all of the archived events. To get back to the home page, and this will be the case for all of the pages, you just click on home, and it will take you to the home of the particular site that you're in. If you scroll down, you'll also notice there's another announcement list to the right, and that's going to have the top 3 announcements, the most recent announcements. As I said, we're really trying to engage people to the site using a blog and a discussion topics. We're currently focusing on the discussion topics, and if you click on that link, you'll find a few that we have here. How can the workforce system achieve universal access? How can you use storyboards in staff training? How did you celebrate National Disability Employment Awareness Month? And what does Section 188 mean? Those are only a few of them. When you are logged in, you are able to not only read what's in the post, you're also able to add a comment, or you're able to add a new post. So we're going to encourage all of you, when you get off the site, please take a moment to not only read the discussion topics that are posted, but also share what you know from the field, and ask some more questions to keep the conversation going, because this is the portal where people will go to learn more about disability and employment, the broader issues. On the right-hand side of the page, under Resources, and this is going to be the same for all of the pages, you're going to see the top and the new resources that are listed. And through this, the top resources are the ones that your peers across the WorkforceGPS membership find of the most interest. And this includes the playlist disability resources for the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. For those of you not familiar with this, it was created by the NDI DEI team in partnership with the National DOL Program Office, as well as their partners, Department of Education. And it really to provide resources, links to resources to help the workforce system learn a little bit more about disability and employment. You scroll down, DEI best practices, that's pretty cool. That's something that we are pulling from DEI grantees. And you'll learn more about that when we're on the DEI collection site, but it's pretty cool that the public workforce system is really interested in learning more about what's taking place on the ground in increasing access to individuals with disabilities. Other disability employment resources include Connect the Pieces, which we're going to go through again. So new is just, so these are the new resources that were recently added, and you're also able to click to learn more about them. So now I'm going to turn it back over to Miranda to talk about the DEI collection site. But before I do, I'm sorry, I was jarred by the technology, but now I see it's working, so we're going to start afresh. What's key on all of the pages that you go to is the blue box in the middle, which is the featured content. Think of this as your focal point, where you're going to come to learn more about what the key resources that a grantee or a contractor wants to point you to. For the Disability and Employment website, we have under Featured Content, Connect the Pieces. And here's where we really want to show you, this is what we really laid out for the public workforce system and broke it down into 3 different categories to help them. The American Job Center, an individual with a disability, and the employer. And in each case, it breaks down some key disability job-driven resources to really help somebody who is looking for more information and resources and tools and some insight on disability and employment. And so I will just open one of them. The American Job Center, Disability Job-Driven Resources, and it's broken down here into reports, Workforce GPS tools, directory, research, state plans, and disability data, and guidance. So you'll see a little annotated description on the right-hand side, and then under related content will be another way to go to the resource. So it gives you 2 alternative ways to get to the same resource. I'm going to go back to the home page. Again, to connect the pieces, just want to go back in there. And so just scroll through here. So as a grantee, when you are trying to work with your partners and other staff within the AJC and the employer community, this would be a great resource to point them to, connect the pieces. So we go back to the home page. Also in the featured resource content, we include some information that, again, is key, that we feel will be helpful to the workforce community and anybody who comes and looks at the Workforce GPS website to learn more about disability and employment. It includes, again, the playlist, which you saw as a top resource to the right-hand side. It also includes the Section 188 Disability Resource Guide, Reference Guide. This was developed under the Workforce Investment Act and is currently being updated to include citations and language from WIOA, as well as updated promising practices, many of them which have been learned from the Disability Program Navigator Initiative and from current and past DEI grantees. Another resource that's included here that we think will be of interest is the Workplace Accommodations Low Cost, High Impact. And I'll just click on that to show you. This provides a description of what you're going to find in this resource, and under related content will be the link to go to the resource. So again, this is just being shared as we'd like to think of the COP as addressing the more broader systemic issues around disability and employment, and then the DEI focusing directly on the grantees. So before I turn it back over to Miranda, you will notice from the disability and employment site, there is a link to the DEI. It will take you directly to the DEI collection site. But for now, I'm going to stop sharing and turn it back over to Miranda to introduce us to the Disability and Employment Collection site.
Great, thank you, Laura. All right. So first of all, I'm going to just set this up, talking about the DEI collection site, and then do what we do where we turn it back over to Laura to highlight these features in real time on the website, on WorkforceGPS, for you to see it there. So the DEI collection was developed with the DEI projects in mind, obviously. And this is because we wanted to provide you with the information and resources you need to help you do your day-to-day work in a place that's readily accessible to you, where you can go at any time. I'm going to highlight some key features before we dive into the frontline DEI resources, which is where everything has been laid out to help grantees at both a state and a local level. So our key feature navigation highlights include, what this is about is we provide information about the DEI, and it's information that's current, general information. We have to update it every year because the DEI gets updated every year, about the DEI in general. And this information, includes handouts and resources and materials that people can look at a glance or go a little bit deeper into, maps and such. And it's good for partners and other staff who are not familiar with this grant to understand what it is and what it does at a high level. Those are really good materials for you to be able to access, and certainly incorporate them into your own materials or modify them or what have you. But we hope those will be helpful to you, and we encourage you to use those. It also includes information on events. So all of our DEI facilitated trainings and learning opportunities, these can be found under the Events tab. And this is the area, it also is included as part of other sections, but it's an easy one-stop shop to find them here. So events will all fall under archived past events. So you never really miss anything. If you're not available to attend something live, as much as it's more interesting live, and you can engage in polls and things like that, you can always access the information later. Another interesting trick is if you're a DRC or a project lead and you see some great information in a webinar format and you think, wow, I'd like to pull together a number of key folks, partners, others, maybe have them sit down and watch this webinar together and facilitate a discussion around it, that might be something to do. We certainly encourage things like that. That way you're leveraging your resources and using them effectively. So those key features, again, they include the events, archived DEI-related learning opportunities, resources. You're going to see those under top and new. The featured content, the focal point, which is the focal point of DEI grantee resources, those frontline DEI resources that Laura's going to take us to, and those are really designed to support grantees. They'll include a lot of great tools and materials for you to use. Our DEI monthly resource updates. This is disability and employment resources of interest to support DRCs. It takes things like our resources of the week a step further and gives some guidance to DRCs around how to access new resources that are coming out of ETA and ODEP and others, and how they can use those in their local areas to the best effect. We've also got DEI best practices. So this highlights your great work and the great work of your peers so you can learn from others. You know, we're hearing all the time, we did a best practice on reverse job fairs out of Iowa last year we presented on, and we heard a lot about people replicating that effort in their local area, and they had a guide to do so. And those types of things can catch fire, and this is how you can learn from one another, those best practices. We want to definitely highlight those for you, as well as DEI employment network tools, because we know you're all focused on the work of your Workforce Employment Network. Those tools are here for you to support you in your EN operations and to be successful in that endeavor. And that's where so much of sustainability of these efforts can come from and be supported as well. So we know that that will be of keen interest to your local area leadership as well. You'll also find DEI grant information here, so current and historical information about the DEI. There's just a lot of great stuff. So with that, I'm giving you a little bit of a heads up of the things you're going to see that Laura is going to take you to right now. Laura, I'm changing you back over to presenter so you can take us away back to your Workforce GPS site and the DEI collection site on it.
Okay. Here we go, Disability Employment Initiative. Now I want you to see, now we are on a collection site. Before we were on a community of practice, but as I mentioned at the beginning, you're going to see the same type of layout. You're going to see the username and password. You're going to see a menu bar at the top in which you could go to all of the communities and collections. And then if you scroll down, you're going to see again the same type of menu bar at the bottom with the communities and collections. And if you scroll up, you'll see that blue box, the featured content, the resources, top and new. So again, it's the same. The main difference, another main difference between a collection versus a community of practice, you'll notice on the top navigation bar, you do not see a discussion or a blog. They are not included on a collection site. So I'm just going to quickly touch on, show you in real time the features that Miranda talked about, and then we're going to take a deeper dive into the frontline DEI resources, which have been patterned specifically for you. On the About section, you'll learn a little bit current information about the Disability Employment Initiative. This is a good area to take for new DRCs, even for those who are just kind of paving the way in your job center. You can share this with your partners and other project staff so that they can learn a little bit more about the DEI. As
Laura,
yeah?
Laura, I need to let you know, currently it looks like the screen is a little blacked out. I'm not sure if others are experiencing that.
Okay.
Okay, it just popped up. It just came up just now. It might have just been my screen. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off.
Let me make sure. Okay, so
it's visible now. It is visible now.
Okay. And was it not visible the whole time, Miranda?
For me, it wasn't. I'm not sure if that was on my end or if everyone experienced that, but I see it now.
Okay, then you know what? I'm going to I'm sorry about that. So we'll.
Oh, and I see over on the chat that other people experienced that as well. So, okay.
And we'll, thank you. All right, technology is not my friend today, but that is okay. So now that we're back on the site, I just want to make sure to show you again, as we had said at the beginning, the same look and feel on all of the pages. Workforce GPS on the left, the icon, this will always take you to the main Workforce GPS homepage. You'll see that on all of the pages. Across the top, you'll see the main menu and drop-down menu. This you'll see on all of the pages. And then if you scroll down, you'll see the same drop-down menu at the bottom of the screen. So I just wanted to show you again, no matter where you are on Workforce GPS, you're going to be able to navigate to other pages, and you'll have the same look and feel. And similar to the Disability and Employment Community of Practice, you have the blue box in the middle, which is the featured content, and you have the resources to the right, which include the top and the new resources. On the collection sites, you have the option to include announcements at the bottom. We do not do that. Some of the sites do. And as I said, what differentiates the Disability and Employment Initiative, which is a collection site, from the communities of practice is collection sites do not include a discussion or a blog. So those are only available through the communities of practice. So with that, I just wanted to quickly go over the features that Miranda talked about, which is the About page. And the About page gives you some current information on the DEI. And this is what I said, not only being good for you, but also will be good for those that you work with who you want to learn a little bit more about the DEI and what it does for those new DRCs in your job centers, as well as with other project staff and partners in the community. Again, if you click on the Home button, it will always take you to the home page of the particular site that you're in. We also talked about events, as Miranda said. The events page is going to include all of our archived events. The DEI site, we do not post upcoming events. We send those via email because they are not available to the public, but the public is able to see the archived past events. They will be in descending order, so this is one quick way to find an event that you might not have seen before. It also is going to be, the link will be located on one of the other pages within the site, but this is an easy way to find previous archived webinars that we've gone through. And the last DEI grantee training was Part 1, Aligning DEI and Career Pathway Systems and Programs. So this is a quick navigation point for you to go through. We'll go back to the home page. And again, let's look to see what the new resources are that have been posted to the DEI collection site. They are the DEI monthly resource, the disability and employment resources of interest that we share. That's one of the new resources. Also, we've been updating the DEI employment network tools, which we'll show you in real time. So that's new. And then the DEI initiative administrative meetings for project leads. So we just posted resources recently here, and that's what you'll see. But let's see what the top resources are that people, that your peers, most likely your other DEI grantees are looking at, and the integrated resource team, information and resources, the disability and employment, workforce employment, and EN network tools. Actually, this is the community of practice. So it's the community of practice that we ran recently. And then it also goes to previous administrative meetings for the project leads. So now I want to focus on the feature content. I'm going to start with what we include on the right-hand side, and then we're going to dive into the frontline DEI resources. Again, this is the section of the website that remains static, or it changes, but it's the information that we want to be a go-to for you. So when we come to the site, this will be your focal point. Specifically the frontline DEI resources, but to the right are key resources that we feel are ones that you're going to want to go to on a more regular basis. The DEI monthly resource is the disability and employment resources of interest. We include all of the ones that we disseminate. All of you should be receiving this as part of the DEI listserv. If you are not, please reach out to your TA liaison. And or you can send me an email directly and make sure that we have your email address. What's key about these resources is that they have a section that says access this resource too. There's a lot of resources out there, and we realize that. And this is a new tool that we added to our arsenal, tool docs, to really help hone in on the ones that we think will be more effective and will be more responsive to your needs. And the access this resource too is really going to give you some pointers and some guidance on how you can use it. The DEI best practice highlights, which is very cool. You know, that's one of the main reasons for the DEI is what are we learning within these sites at both the local and state level so we can share it with the broader workforce community. And we're really excited that during this year we were able to start that what we call a legacy. So you'll be able to come to the site and see what we have posted so far and keep coming back to it because there are more in the works. Somehow I got to the DEI. Oh, I know, because the DEI best practices are housed on the Disability Employment website. DEI Employment Network tools, these are going to be good for you, but also please feel free to share these with those in your area, whether they are with the DEI implementing site or not. These are really to help employment networks in the workforce system. As you know, we have a DEI ticket coordinator, subject matter expert as part of our team, Kevin Nickerson, and he does a really good job on making sure these tools and resources are updated. Here they are to the right, to the left, and then they are annotated to the right. So this is a really good resource for you to go to as you're doing EN operations. And the last section here is we keep this updated. This section includes the fact sheet, and the fact sheet will be the most recent fact sheet. And this was developed after the new 8 joined us. We also have a state map, and this again is going to be the current map. It has the current projects on this map, so you'll be able to know which ones are currently running, but which states may have received funding previously but are not currently active. And then we also have abstracts, so one-page abstract for all of the projects since round 1, and you can find them here. Again, this may be of interest to those that you're trying to help learn more about the DEI currently and in the past. That's a great place to go. So now I want to go to the Pizza de Resistance, and as I go through this, I'll ask Miranda to help in, to kind of step in also and help go through here. This is the section really for grantees to go to. On this part of the section, we have, it is what it says, the frontline DEI resources, and these have been posted to help those at the state level, as well as those on the ground level where the rubber meets the road, the DRCs, and broken down in this way. So this is kind of your main page where you can go to see what's listed here, and then we're going to dive in to each of them separately. We'll go quickly to the DEI directory. It again is the project leads contact chart and the local level contact chart. You'll see there are different ways that you can get to that. But what we wanted to do here is we wanted to make sure that on this page you had links under related content to information that would be a benefit to both the state and local level until you break into your individual sections. So you'll see other sections are state lead, project resources, DRC resources, tools and resources for beginner DRCs, and tools and resources for intermediate DRCs, and we talk a little bit in the annotated section of what these are. So I'm going to briefly go over the state project lead resources David Jones, the DEI project officer during the December project leads admin call. Walk through these for the state-level project leads, but you'll see something similar broken down on the DRC page. We've really focused on the most current rounds of grantees. It doesn't mean that previous rounds won't find this beneficial, but you are more into your project implementation, so probably aren't really focusing on these. So we break it down by round 7 and round 8 resources. But on the main page are resources that are going to be of benefit to all of the projects, no matter what stage of project implementation or no matter what round you're in. Again, some of these resources you may have seen on previous pages, but we try to contain them in a one-stop fit for you, a one-stop portal, so that you didn't have to navigate all through the website. And so additional resources on this page include narrative reporting guidance, DEI grant information, which we saw. It also will take you to the page that has been laid out for disability resource coordinators. It will take you to the employment network tools that I just showed you, the directory, which includes the updated contact information, the DEI best practice highlights, monthly resource updates, which are the disability and employment resources. And also, you will hear from your TA liaisons as well as the project officer that part of building the capacity of the workforce system is to really have a better understanding of what's in your state plan. How do they reference disability and employment? What can you do to help augment and to support this? So this provides you a direct link so that you can go to your state to find out more about your plan. And there's more information down here that talks about what you can do. We also added the new Drive website, which is data and resources to inspire a vision of employment, and that is posted on our partner, National Technical Assistance Center Lead Center, and developed by the Office of Disability and Employment Policy. And it's a wonderful resource where you can go to learn more about what's happening in your state and other states around various elements that are pertinent to disability and in WIOA. So again, these are tools and resources that should be beneficial to all projects, and I'll just click on one of these links.
And Laura, we do only have 3 minutes left.
All right, well, we're going to, all right. Okay, we will go quickly over this. This is going to be the same for round 7 and round 8 grantees. Again, we try to break things down between grant implementation tools and ongoing support to break down the tools and resources to help you. I'm going to go back to home. We are going to continue with this webinar. I do apologize, but we will archive it at the end, and I'll hope you go back to it because it's really important that I wanted you to see the Disability Resource Coordinators page. As I said, it's similar to the state lead resources. It breaks it down by intermediate and beginner resources, but on the main page, it includes additional tools and resources that will be of benefit to all disability resource coordinators, no matter what stage of the grant implementation that you're in. And on the additional resources include a national TA overview. You can learn more about the services we provide at all levels. It will take you to the grant information, the DEI directory, the EN tools. We also have the alphabet soup, which we created. There's a lot of acronyms. And so it lets you know what the acronym is, and it also gives you a website and more information about what it is. Takes you to the Disability and Employment Resource Updates, Best Practices, our Business 30-Second Training Series and Resource Guide, which we just updated last December. This would be very beneficial to help you. The Career Pathways Community of Practice, which can be found on this site. The Innovation and Opportunity Network Community of Practice, which was created for WIOA. This is another go-to community, as we had said. And then the apprenticeship community. Apprenticeship is a part of the DEI work, so this will provide you with tools and resources. And you can also find a link on WIOA state plans. And similar to the Round 7 and the Round 8 grantee resources, we break down information for the DRC, the resources, to help you as you're beginning for the first 6 months. They are annotated on the right-hand side, and then the related content is included on the left. You also have, where available, links on the right-hand side. We also include a DEI orientation series that we hosted a year or so ago, but it's still relevant information to help you learn more about your role. So I'm going to go back.
So it is important, that beginner site, it is kind of up to 6 months because it is orienting you to the position, and just as you get started with the DEI, we have 3 years. So you move into intermediate pretty fast, right, Laura?
Yes, you do. Very fast. We want to make sure you have information to start. And then on the intermediate side, it's really where, you get to the juicy things. So you get to the DEI, business engagement, community of practice. What are the strategies out there that people are doing to help engage the business community and help increase access to job seekers to employment opportunities? The Workforce Employment Network community of practice. Again, what is happening across the country in terms of this. And on this community of practice, you can learn about ticket ambassadors, which come from the Disability Employment Initiative. And they're doing some really cool things about increasing the capacity of the workforce system to serve ticket holders, and they're sharing their different strategies and promising practices. We are learning about DEI projects and career pathways and continuing to build this information. We had a part 1 of the 3-part series in December. I showed you under events, and we're going to have a part 2 and 3 as we move forward. I'm just going to quickly go here. And here's where you can learn about a series that we put on also in May. So here's another way where you can find out more information about career pathways. We're also working on updating a manual to give you some more tips and strategies as you help to increase participation in your existing career pathways. And then, of course, this brings you to the DEI best practice highlights, which many of them came from the business engagement and the workforce EN community of practice. So Miranda, before we go back to the main section of before we go back to our PowerPoint, is there anything else that you would like to highlight on here?
I think we are hoping you all aren't feeling like you're having to take a drink of water out of a fire hose here. There is a lot of information, but you can see how intuitive it is once you get on the pages and the consistency of them and being able to look through. I think the idea is, especially some of these pages, we have different people listening in. Some of these will be very relevant to you, and others may not feel as relevant, but there's a lot of crossover. We reference a lot of the similar resources for the DRCs as the project leads and vice versa, and for our other partners. So you should be able to, I think Laura and Jason and David Jones have spent a lot of time and effort on this. There's a lot of cross-references, so you will come across what it is you need to come across typically on any of these pages. Wouldn't you say, Laura, there's a lot of cross-referencing?
They are. And I do want to reiterate that these resources are really designed to support your daily work. The DEI strategies are implemented by DEI disability resource coordinators, who are the frontline professional employment counselors with experience and training in working with people with disabilities, and as well as affecting systems change with the AJCs. So
I just, one example even is like our best practices, those are in multiple places. So it's not like they're buried deep on one page. You have to try to find that one page. And the other thing is if you did have any challenges with this, you can always reach out to our team. We are open to, and I think on one of our slides on the PowerPoint, for folks who have any suggestions or questions, they can certainly come to us and give us that, I know, Laura, you're going to it right now, aren't you? The page with contact information on it, back that up. So we definitely want to hear, because this is a work in progress. There's been a lot of work done on it. But we would, and here's the Workforce GPS resources. I'm going to go ahead right now, Laura, and just do a quick file transfer so that folks who didn't capture the PowerPoint on their way into the webinar, you should be able to pull this down.
And I'll walk through these while you do that, Miranda.
Okay, great.
We do that, and so we have included some resources. Again, it's an introductory webinar to Workforce GPS, the help desk, very helpful technical assistance. This is the email address to reach out. The collection site is the DEI, that we want to make sure that you have this in your bookmark, and also career pathways. That is the focus of the grant, so we want to make sure you have that. And then the Workforce GPS Communities of Practice. We went over the Disability and Employment one. Again, the Innovation and Opportunity Network is the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Network, with a website for the public workforce system. It's created for projects or for the workforce system to go to see what's happening in terms of WIOA. The apprenticeship, again, you can find many tips and resources on that page. And there's also the business engagement COP that you can go to learn more about what's happening.
Thank you for covering that while I pulled up the PowerPoint, Laura. And everyone, the PowerPoint, it has all of these links on here as well. So we thought that might be a useful takeaway for you to help guide you. And I think that is probably the wrap for today, Laura. We do have a post-training survey at the end. It'll just take about a minute or less to complete, and we would appreciate your feedback, any comments you might have for us. And certainly appreciated everyone joining us today, and hope you will take advantage of this great resource in your work and contribute, additional best practices and other strategies and resources. Give us feedback on this. This is your site. It's meant to be grown, and we want it to be responsive to your needs and useful to you, and to highlight what you're doing out there. So thank you for your work, and thank you for joining us today. And any other last comments, Laura? Did I miss anything?
No, we just want to hear from you. These sites were created for you. The DEI collection site was created to support you, and the Disability and Employment Community of Practice was created to support the broader system in this area. So we do want to hear from you. If there are resources that you can't find or you think would be helpful on the DEI collection site, you can reach out to the content manager. You could also reach out to your TA liaison or to me and let us know what would be beneficial to you. Likewise, on the Disability and Employment Community of Practice, is there other information that you think would be helpful to the workforce system in this area? Do let us know, because these sites are developed for you, and we would like to work with you to make sure that they are effective, responsive, and usable sites. So with that, Miranda, I want to thank everybody for joining us today.
Thank you, everyone.